Hey guys, happy Friday. Third show of the day. It's October 19, 2018. Super excited to have the talented CeCe Teneal on the show with us right next to me, and the beautiful, talented Rosene Johnson from Pace Center for Girls. We want to talk about all of that, but the most important thing is you guys give me a thumbs up. Let us know you can hear us or see us. We are episode, if you can believe it, CeCe, 261 today. Wow. 261 episodes. You guys followed me for that long. So Diane Bourne is on, Gert Garman. Give us a heart, give us a thumbs up, because we definitely want to hear this story. We want to hear all about Portrait of a Queen, right? Did I do it right? Which is next door at Deepak. We've got a lot going on. So give us a thumbs up, give us a heart. I see you guys are on there. I know you're there. So let us know you can hear us or see us before we get the famous CeCe Teneal. I love that name, by the way. It's a great name. Is that your real name?
It is a derivative.
Okay, that's good. See, I'm just throwing out the questions. I haven't told her any of the questions I'm going to ask. So welcome to the show. I think they can hear us or see us. We got a thumbs up.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
I was so honored when Charlotte reached out to me, who's behind the scenes. Charlotte and Annette. You think they're twins. They're behind the scenes over there. So when she reached out, I'm like, what? Who's performing? I had no idea because I don't know what's going on in the city sometimes.
Oh, no,
it's terrible. All right. So give us a little background on you. Tell us a little bit about you. Obviously, you've got a talent, and if we're nice, maybe she'll sing us a little bit of a song later, which is what I really want you to do.
Well, my name is CeCe Teneal. Hello, everybody. I am born and raised a local Orlandoan.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in a little small country town called Osteen, Florida, right outside of Orlando. And I grew up with my grandparents playing the blues, and I just became a lover of the blues. And then at 9 years old, I started singing, and they said, wait a minute. She's got something.
She's got talent.
And so, I've just been kind of tampering with it. And then when I turned about 22 years old, I decided to take it seriously, and I've been singing ever since. So 16 years in this, and
oh, you just dated yourself, but
look
at that skin.
That's okay.
You guys in the skin. What is happening?
Look at it, honey.
I'm basically 95 years old.
Oh,
no, your skin looks so good.
Thank you so much.
So what happened between 9 and 22? Did you sing in church?
Well, I did sing in church. I sang in church, but I really was focused on my studies because my grandparents, I'm the first person in our family to go to college. So Wonderful. My family was really advocating education at that point. And my mom was a singer. She toured worldwide, and so she was away from us a lot. And so I really, between 9 and 22, I really didn't want anything to do with the music business.
Isn't that interesting? So what brought you to it? What brought you back to it?
One of my best friends, she said, for my birthday this year, I just want to, I want you to sing in this talent show. Mm-hmm. And somebody handed me a microphone, and that was history.
Nice. And you probably never met a microphone that didn't love you.
Well, I like a lot of microphones. I'll say that.
I'm with you. I get it. All right, so then what happened after that? Because everybody, you get dared, you get somebody that will say that to you. But then how did you take it to the next level?
So really, I started doing the local open mic scene. And then in 2007, where it really went to the next level was I was selected to be the leading lady for B.B. King's Blues Club here in Orlando.
Nice.
And so I headlined with the B.B. King's Blues Club All-Star Band for about 5 years. And then I traveled worldwide on Holland America lines with the B.B. King's Blues Club. And from there, I just kind of found my niche. And when I came home from overseas, I toured 36 countries with them.
Wow.
In 13 months. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Singing the same repertoire? Did you guys?
So it was the same repertoire. But while I was there, I was able to really find myself, and I really found the sound of my voice. And people kept comparing me to, Aretha.
That's a big compliment, right?
It is a big
also
compliment,
big shoes
but
to
it's
fill.
Big shoes to fill. It really is.
And so how did you feel that? How did you feel? Obviously it's a compliment, but how did you go, all right, so I could probably step into that and at least give my own version of what that sounds like.
And so that's exactly what happens, Ted. I am in no way, shape, or form trying to imitate the Queen of Soul. Okay, in this show that you're going to see that's going to happen November 2nd at Dr. Phillips Center here, you're gonna see myself and my band Soul Commotion. You'll see our interpretations of the songs. So we do some of them exactly the same, and we do some of them a little bit different, because we just want to use this opportunity to pay homage to the Queen of Soul.
Amen. And so how was it to pick out the songs for your show? And talk about the show. It's Portrait of a Queen.
Yes, it's called Portrait of a Queen because, again, we wanted it to be like a picture and not me imitating her.
That's awesome.
Right? And so we started doing this show in 2015. We debuted it at Dr. Phillips Center for the first time in 2016. So it was even prior to her passing. We've been doing this show. And so picking out the songs, selecting the songs was a very daunting task, if you will.
Sure, she's got so many.
How do you do it? So we performed 22 songs in the show. So it's not a, hit it and quit it type of tribute show. It is a true tribute show. And so selecting the songs, I went to Billboard and say, okay, how many, gold records did this one have? And, but then it boiled down to which ones do we just really love?
Sure.
And so we got a focus group together and we listened to some songs, and I sang through some of the songs to see how I would sound singing them, because we wanted it to be a high quality tribute show.
Was there any song that you were surprised that you picked over maybe a more popular song?
Yeah, I was. Some of them actually that we selected, I was surprised that the crowd selected them. One of the ones I was surprised that people selected was like Spirit in the Dark. Do you know what song?
I know of that song. So but I couldn't sing it to you.
Exactly.
But that's because you listened to the audience, but you also went through it and you did the research. What's your favorite song to sing?
So Ted, that changes daily. So right now, the band and I have a great band, by the way, named Soul Commotion.
Soul Commotion. I should tag them too.
You should tag them.
I will.
So Soul Commotion, and we play a lot of different things. Our primary genre is blues and soul music, but we come together and do this Aretha tribute. So we kind of have two things going for us. And right now, we are enjoying Baby, I Love You, because it is such a sassy tune. So it depends on how I have my hair. If my hair
you have to explain that. I love that.
So if my hair is like long and flowy, then I Say a Little Prayer might be my favorite song that for that particular run of shows. But something like this time, because I have like this little sassy kind of thing going on right now, it's Baby I Love You, because it is the sassiest love song you will ever hear.
I love it.
Because it's basically saying, if you want it, I'll give it to you, but you just gotta say it.
See, I believe her. How can you not believe her? See, I'd be in the audience going, I know, CeCe, me too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how long you've done the show since 2015. Is there anything you've changed since 2015? And we're gonna get to Rosene. Rosene, I haven't forgotten you, love. Is there anything you've changed since 2015 as you've progressed through? And then since, God bless her, she's passed, did you make any changes when she passed away?
So when she passed away, God bless her soul, I went to Detroit.
Oh, you did?
I did. I went to Detroit to do the viewing. I made a full day of it. I went to her old church. I went to where she was going to be buried. I went to, just everything that was historical about Aretha in the city of Detroit. I went there because I wanted to really embrace the essence of who she was. And when I came home, surprisingly, I met with my musical director, Chris Baptiste, and I said, okay, we got to make some changes. Because I heard the songs that people were playing the most while I was there.
Sure.
And some of them weren't on our list.
Isn't that interesting?
It is. Some of them weren't on our list. And then some of the songs that were on our list, I wanted to make sure that I remember performing them, and the crowd, although they liked it and they were being well performed, there were other ones that I know would take us to a different level in the show.
Right.
And so that's when we actually made the first initial round, the first and only changes. And so we just did 2 shows in Atlanta, and we sold both of them out except for 10 tickets the first night. Of
course you did. You're talented.
and so that we knew then, like, now we have the show. This is it.
And so what can people expect when they go to the show?
Okay, the show puts you in the mind of like an Aretha Franklin concert, like 1971 in Philly, right?
Long before I was born.
And myself as well. But when you think about it, you have the band, there's a full band, and they are playing their hearts out. But we also have the background singers that are dancing and they're moving and sharing the stage with me. And one thing I know that I can guarantee that you're gonna get some good singing. And I said that right.
I love it. Say it again.
Singing. Some good singing. There's no tracks on there. There's no, there's no tracks. There's no orchestrated, nothing programmed. Everything is live and being played live. We will have horns. There's a full horn section that'll be there on the 2nd as well. So you will get an amazing musical experience with this show.
And so is it harder to sing with live than it is with tracks?
I think it's easier to do live because with tracks, you don't have any. I'm a very free-spirited singer, so I'm like, I might say, hey band, break it down because I want to talk or something. And when you play with tracks, you're limited to what you can do. There's a time frame that you have to remember in your mind. So I feel like it's not as authentic when you're doing it with tracks versus when you're live with a band. I just look back at Chris and he knows I'm ready to start the song versus, if there's a track, if you miss the cue, everything is going awry.
Was there any song that and I promise, Rosene, you're next. I'm fascinated by that, and I think people are fascinated.
Yes.
Was there any song that you said, wow, this is really complicated to learn how to sing?
Ain't no way.
Tell me, I have to sing a note or two.
Ain't no way for me to love you if you won't let me. It ain't no way for me to give you all you need if you won't let me give all of me.
My God. Why am I not at that concert? I am at that concert. I'm so blessed. I'm so lucky. All right.
So the reason why that song is
please.
because you really
Since
have
I've forgotten everything I'm asking after.
You really have to control your vocals. It's not like it's a high song or a lot of words or anything like that, but you have to control your vocals because otherwise, it breathes so much, but you have to have control because otherwise you get off key and you're gone.
All right, so how did you meet or how did you get involved with Rosene Johnson, who's to her left, with Pace Center for Girls? How did that all come about? And I'll let either one of you take that.
So Rosene and I met when she was working with another organization in town, and I did some work with that organization, and we developed a friendship from there. And then when she went to Pace, we were having lunch one day, and she said, "Yeah, and I think you're going to be on my board, CeCe." And I said, "Okay."
That sounds
Rosene.
exactly like Rosene.
Right, but when she started to explain to me what Pace Center for Girls Orange was, Pace Orange, we like to call it affectionately, what it was, I realized that, you know what, I was a Pace girl. And had I had something like Pace,
Amen.
Who knows what my path would have been. I might be Beyonce right now.
Hey.
Listen, you sound so awesome.
Exactly.
So I was really able to connect with her vision and connect with where she wants to take it. And, basically what my understanding of Pace, and she can articulate it much better than I can, but my takeaway is there's a young lady that has made a misstep. Right? And we want to get her back on the right path.
Amen.
And so, or they've experienced a trauma, or they're living with their grandma.
Right.
That was me.
Right.
So I just wanted to be a part of trying to make a difference in some ladies' lives.
Wow.
So that's how we connected.
It's personal. All right, Rosene, tell us a little. You're going to sing, Rosene? Is that what I heard?
Absolutely not. No. I love
Darn.
Aretha, but I am not singing. No way.
I was hoping. All right, so give us a little background on you, and of course talk about Pace Orange.
Well, what I think is really, really exciting about this whole show, and I'm originally from the Midwest, so there are certain iconic people that, that come out of this kind of Indiana, Michigan, Midwestern area. And so, of course, you got Michael Jackson, you've got Prince, you've got Madonna, and of course, being from Michigan, you've got the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. And so these are the people that I grew up listening to. My love of music, I remember being at home, hearing my mom put on the albums. I'm not dating myself. Albums, okay?
They still say albums, so you're good. Even my kids say albums.
I will date myself with the cassette tapes because we did have cassette tapes.
Yes.
But I remember waking up and it was always Saturday morning. That was the cleaning day, and there was music in the house playing, and that was my first introduction really to the Queen of Soul and to hearing Aretha Franklin. It was actually an introduction to her gospel music, and I remember hearing this voice that I had never heard before that was sheer heaven, that I thought, oh my gosh, this woman, how can a voice like that come from someone from this earth? And that was when, again, music just became really important to me personally. Sure. And so, but as a young person, and I know that some of the, not everyone, but some people may remember that also growing up in Indiana, I grew up in gratefully a working class neighborhood, but we also had some challenges. You know, there were some days we woke up and, you know, the lights weren't on. And I remember the day that we had to go to the government food truck and figure out how we were going to have food for the night. So those are some of the same things that our young girls at Pace experience. And when I share with people about Pace, it's really not, I think a lot of times people automatically look at the girl and say, oh my gosh, why did she do that? Or why is she doing that? But we take the stance of something has happened to you. Right. What happened to you? Let's deal with that.
Right.
And then let us work through what has happened and how we can help you overcome what has happened. And so that's the beauty of working at Pace and getting to know CeCe and really connecting her to this very, very, very personal work.
Wow, that's so good.
Our girls are beautiful.
But so I've been, when Jill was there, obviously I was more involved with Pace, Jill Gentry. But I love the fact that empowerment was one of the words that I hashtagged, because that's what I feel like you guys really do. Pace Center empowers the girls, or gives them the ability to be empowered.
Yes.
You give them the tools and hopefully they take it. But you're right, so you can make missteps and mistakes as a kid. It shouldn't change your entire life or the trajectory of your life. And so you give them an opportunity to, and the support system to allow them to go, all right, so I made the mistake. Now here are the tools that you cannot make that mistake again, or maybe you'll mitigate it. It won't be quite as painful along the way, but it serves such a big purpose because there is no other service like it.
Correct.
At all.
Correct. Pace is actually nationwide, particularly in servicing girls, the #1 program in the state of Florida, but also recognized nationwide by the Annie E. Casey Foundation, the White House, all of our government officials, so much so that Pace is expanding nationally simply because of the model of gender responsiveness and really working with girls and recognizing that girls enter the criminal justice and the juvenile justice system actually faster than boys, especially here in Florida.
I did not know that.
When I learned that, I was floored. And primarily the kind of school to prison pipeline is really connected to young girls that exhibit a lot of aggression, maybe might be a little sassier than normal, but they generally tend to exhibit more of those aggressive types of behaviors. And what happens is that when they're in school, in your traditional school settings, God bless teachers, because I have been one and I get it, and I also recognize there aren't enough hands and enough people in that classroom to go around.
Absolutely.
So if you have a couple of young girls that really need some additional support, as much as you want to give it as a teacher, you just don't have the time and you don't have the hands. And so that's where Pace comes in, to be able to say, you know what, yes, I understand this may be how you feel. Let's give you some new skills in that toolbox, and let's also make sure that we can keep you out of this pipeline. Let's make sure you're not making a misstep that can cause you some challenges down the road. And that's really where we come in.
And so how does the concert, how does Portrait of a Queen, which is basically a concert.
concert.
Yeah, it
I
is
love
a
it.
concert.
How does that benefit, and what's the relationship there with Pace?
Well, I will speak for me personally, and of course I'm going to share with CeCe, who was gracious enough to really bring Pace along. And when she called me and talked to me about it, I said, of course, that's it. When you think about Aretha Franklin, and this is again just going back to where I grew up, she probably could have been a Pace girl. When you really sit back and you think about her life,
100%.
She was a young girl, had a lot of different circumstances dealt with her. Yes, she grew up in the church. She was a very young mother at a very young age, and she had a lot of things thrown at her. She overcame, but she overcame because she had a support system.
Right.
And her way out was through her talent, music. So we have young girls at Pace that have experienced and are experiencing the same things, and they're trying to figure out what is their way out. Could it be music? Could it be education? Could it be medicine? Could it be science? But they're all trying to figure their way out. So no better person for them to connect with and to parallel than Aretha Franklin. And who better to bring that to life than CeCe Teneal?
Look at that segue. She's good. She's really good. And how about you, CeCe? What do you think?
You know, once I was asked by LaVon Bracey, who is the senior director of community. We love LaVon. At Dr. Phillips, she said, CeCe, we have to bring it back. I was actually sitting in front of her when the news came through that that Aretha had passed, and she said, we got to bring it back. And immediately I said, we got to bring it back. We do. And I said, and we got to do it for Pace.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, and she said, okay, well, however you want to figure it out, that's fine. And so I called
Whatever
Rosene.
you say, CeCe.
Yeah. And so I called Rosene and I said, Rosene, listen, I think we should do this show. If you think about Aretha's life and what she stood for, even just the song, if you think about respect, just the word respect, everybody knows that Aretha is synonymous with respect, but also with women's empowerment.
Yes.
Empowerment.
Absolutely. See, there it is.
The civil rights movement. Just, you know, one of the things that she says that you can see her quoted being, you know, saying is, be the best you. Be yourself the very best you can. And that's what we're trying to get these girls to believe in themselves, you know, believe in yourself even more than anybody else can believe in you. And so it seems synonymous for us to bring those two together. And you know, Pace, we needed a fall benefit, you know, a fall fundraiser, and I thought, what better way than to, you know, utilize this opportunity, a sad time to build up the lives of some young ladies. So
because I think that the ladies have not been told those positive things before. So when they come into Pace, and it takes a while for them to begin to believe and trust that you're actually telling them the truth and not telling them something that they just want to hear for a specific reason. There's no ulterior motive. So when you're giving them the positive reinforcement, they haven't had it before. And so you all are giving them the love and the support and the respect that they have never probably experienced, or they haven't experienced it in a long time, or they haven't experienced in a way that's important to them or that can help them move past that. All right, so we're going to share all of the contact information. We've got CeCe Teneal 1, we got CeCe Teneal 2, because I tagged them both. We have Soul Commotion, we have Pace Orange, we have Rosene Johnson. We have so much going on. The concert is November 2nd at the Dr. Phillips Performing Arts Center right next door. You can still get tickets.
Absolutely, drphillipscenter.org.
See, she knows. I don't have to do anything. And we're going to share all of that. So any parting words of wisdom, a.k.a. any songs you want to sing to take us out?
What's your favorite Aretha song?
Oh my God, I don't know. You said respect. I love that. That's one of my favorites. I like You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman.
All right.
Yes.
I love that song.
Before the day I met you, life was so unkind, but you're the key to my peace of mind. 'Cause you make me feel, you make me feel, you make me feel like a natural woman.
Oh my God, I have chills. I have chills. Oh my God, you're beautiful. Thank you both for being on the show.
Thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
having
much.
us.
Again, we'll share all the information.
That was awesome.
She's singing to me, so I don't know what's happening with any of you people
You
out
make me
there.
feel
See, that's it. I told
like
you.
a
Right?
natural
It's
woman.
why she's so motivated right now. All right, I love you guys. Have a great weekend. We
Thank
love you.
you.
See you next week.